Welcome to episode 402. I'm your host, Tavishima George Aede, Abuja based sales consultant and business consultant. And I'm going to be taking you on an excursion with Nigeria's longest running business podcast, which, if you haven't figured out, is this show. So today I'd like us to look into the question if you should be putting out offers, products, and services that you like, or if you'd be rolling out things that other people actually need and things that other people are interested in. Now, it's particularly relevant to those of us in the wedding and the event space because a lot of us get into the game because we start off doing something that we like and that we love. It's all about us, and then we think it's a good idea to jump into the market. So for me, it was taking pictures back while I was wrapping up my master's degree, and folks are like, "You're pretty good at this. You should do this as a business," and that's what started my entry into this space. And then I also have a cousin who handles cakes, and it was pretty much the same thing. She comes from a baking family. Everybody bakes. She has I think four. There are five of them. So she has four older sisters. The mom doesn't bake, but all the girls bake, and so they all just started baking. And so that's how she got into the space. So everybody bakes. You're a good baker. You should get into the game. And yeah, she got into the business. So these are the sorts of things that. So that's pretty much how a lot of us get into this space, and that's the reason why we should be asking ourselves these questions. Whether we are putting out offers, products, or doing things that we like, or is it about what other people actually need? Now, sometimes what you like or what you need is a good indication that there's a market out there and an opportunity to make some money. So you hear in American business circles that you can use that as an indication that it's a good idea to go into market. To bring your product or service into the market, because if you like it, then that means that there are other people there, other people who are like you, with the same demographics or the same psychographics. You know, people who are the same age, live in the same location, do the same kind of job, or have the same sort of interests or flow in the same kind of circles, the same kind of hobbies and interests. And so because of that, if you like it, it means that there are other people out there who might like it as well. And so in a certain sense, yes, the fact that you like this thing or that you need it means that there is a market for it. But don't always assume that your instincts are on point. Let's not assume that our instincts are always correct. So the right way to be thinking about this, and something that I've spoken about in the past on this podcast, is we should be looking at market validation and product market fit. So these are the main ideas that we should have when we're trying to introduce something new into the market. So like in my own case, coming into the market as a wedding photographer, I should have been trying to validate my business idea and to try and see if there was an appetite for the kind of photography that I like to do, rather than just saying, I'm talented, people say I'm talented, therefore let's go 100% into this and it's going to work out. So we shouldn't assume that everything is going to be a hit, and we should aim for market validation by putting out a rough and ready product or service into the market and then see if you can get some sales. So if you're a chef and you think that Nigerians are going to love Moroccan cuisine, maybe, maybe you did your maybe you did your master's in the Middle East, and then you fell in love with Moroccan cuisine, and you're quite handy with cooking. It doesn't mean that you should just go out, hire your cooking staff, buy all the cooking equipment that you need, get all the merchandising, and then buy the what else? Get the lease or rent out the kitchen. Don't go ahead and do all of that, even if you have the money. You should start out by looking for more realistic and low-cost ways of entering the market. So you ought to test things out before you invest more time and you invest more money into the enterprise. So you could do something more realistic. You could try creating an Instagram handle, then cook out from your kitchen or from Momsy's kitchen if you're still at home. Inform your friends and your family that you're open for business, and try to see if you can get some orders. See how you can get the market moving. Now, the response that you get from these early activities is what will give you a sense of whether there's a profitable market to go ahead. And you now know that you can invest your life savings and go whole hog, or you go and beg Momsy or Popsy for more money, or your favorite uncle, if you have a rich uncle in the family. And it's also going to give you a sense of who your ideal target audience might be. Because if you did a good job of putting the word out with your Instagram handle and talking to folks, you're going to notice that people of a certain age or of a certain demographic, people who are interested in certain kinds of things. Now, those are the kind of people who order your food or who like to hang out at your spot or whatever. Then you now know when you're getting ready to launch into the business with full throttle. You now know that these are the kind of people that I should be looking at. These are the kind of people that I should be talking to. You now know who your target audience is, and it's going to come in real handy when you now start getting your design guys on board. Let's say you have a cousin who is good at designing stuff. You can now tell him that, okay, these are the kind of things that we're going to design. It has to appeal to this kind of person, that kind of person, and on and on and on. So these are the chief benefits of making sure that you're aiming for market validation right from the get-go. So don't just say, I like Moroccan food, but rather you should be asking, how can I see if there's a market for Moroccan food in Nigeria? Don't just assume, I was doing my master's, I like this kind of food, other people will like it as well. So that's market validation for you in a nutshell. So the market is going to show you whether your idea is ripe or not. And the good thing about doing this is you might find out that Moroccans don't really like, the other way around, that Nigerians don't really like Moroccan food. Maybe they like, they like Indian food, because I think Indian food is, well, in Abuja anyway, Indian food seems to be a big thing. There are lots of Indian restaurants all over the place. Nkoyos and all those type of outfits. So you might find out that Nigerians like Indian food, Bangladeshi food, Cameroonian food, what else? Ghanaian food, but they just don't dig Moroccan cuisine. And then you wouldn't have had to waste all the money hiring the staff, the kitchen, getting the bus, the delivery van, what else? And then all the other expense. Now, product market fit, which is the second term that I used, is more or less similar, although it's a term that is used mostly by Americans in the tech space, but the meaning is the same. Now, good product market fit just means that your product or your service meets a strong market demand. So you can see that when we are thinking about these things, market validation or product market fit, we're trying to gauge if there's any demand before we go all in. Because there's no point in coming up with this fantastic idea only to find out that there is no demand for it. So it's the same for those of us in the wedding industry. The thought process is the same. So if you are getting on, like I did, into the business, and but you think that black and white photography is the most sophisticated thing in the world, because you'll find that those of us who are artists, in quote, we can be really opinionated about our art. So for me, it was the whole thing around Photoshop is overdone. You're beautiful the way you are. There's no need for photoshopping and removing defects. You don't have any defects. You're pretty the way that you are. So let's just go and capture this magic as it unfolds. So for me, candid photography was the thing. So let's say you're coming in and for you it's black and white photography. This is the best thing since sliced bread. It's the most sophisticated thing. It's the most high class thing. You don't just launch in and then stake your career around black and white photography. So you try and see if you can score a few clients, some friends, some family. Try and push the idea out a little bit. See if you can get a few nibbles, a few takers, some people who are going to go on with this idea before you go all out with your branding, before you register the business name, what else? The Facebook page, the Instagram advertising, what else? Building a website and all the other things that are involved. Try and see if you can score a few first, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 clients before you now roll out in full force. So we have to look for market validation first and product market fit. Now, how do you do this? If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you already know the answer by going out and talking to people. Because, of course, I said talk to your friends, family, associates. So, of course, I expect you to do some lead work and not just sit behind a computer. Now, that's the reason why this podcast exists, and that's the reason why everyone needs to know how to sell or at least the rudimentary aspects of sales and carrying on a business conversation. And that's the reason, the fundamental reason why I keep on with this podcast, so that for people who are getting ready to walk into whatever business space that they're aspiring to, whether it's wedding or events or architecture or energy, well, because NEPA has been crap this last couple of days. So I'm assuming that if you sell inverter batteries and solar, you should be able to use this to make a strong case. If you meet people who can afford to, you should be able to use this to make a strong case that solar is it and inverters are the future, instead of relying on NEPA and their haphazard service. So, where was I? Forgive me, I just went on a rant because these guys have really showed us we haven't had light for a week and the inverter batteries ran out. So I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, so that's the reason why this podcast is here. So that before you launch all into whatever it is that you want to do, wedding photography, wedding planning, sell your inverter batteries, first of all, you try it out. See if you can get some market validation. Is there some product market fit? And then when you get to the nitty gritty of having those conversations, that's the reason why this podcast is here, to guide you guys throughout the whole journey. So thank you very much for listening to today's episode. I value your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.